Watch an exclusive excerpt from our interview with flautist Rakesh Chaurasia, Carnatic bamboo flute maestro Shashank Subramaniam, and tabla virtuoso Anubrata Chatterjee as they reflect on the life and legacy of Ustad Zakir Hussain ahead of their concert, a musical tribute to Zakir Hussain presented by the Indo-American Arts Council and Tillis Center, taking place on May 4th at the Tillis Center for the Performing Arts, Long Island. Stay tuned for the full interview only on ITV Gold. Rakesh ji, your collaboration with Zakir Hussain on the Grammy-winning album As We Speak was monumental. Could you share
Yeah.
insights into the experience?
Yeah, well, the Zakir Bhai was the key for me to get involved with the maestro Bela Fleck and maestro Ed Meyer, and made me meet them. And then we had a jam session for, I still remember that day, from morning 10 o'clock till evening 7 p.m. We was just jamming, and I didn't know what was happening. But basically, they were checking that how this instrument flute can merge with our kind of music. So we did all kind of combinations and sharing the phrases from my Indian side to towards them, uh, and then eventually they decided to have me on board, and uh, but we had quite a bit tour in America. We toured North America for maybe 1.5 years. We did 3 or 4 tours, and then we decided to record that album. So in between the tour, we used to go to Nashville and record it. And the best thing about it, there's no post-production, there's no overdub, nothing. So that was a different style of recording. We
Wow.
recorded like each song like 7, 8 times, and whichever came best, it was there in the album. And I'm quite fortunate to have the nomination in the same year, and then winning the Grammy also in the same
Of
year.
course.
So this is the one of the most beautiful gift what I've got achievement. Yeah.
Share some memories with Zakir Hussain.
There are lots means it was always a learning process, when used to share the stage with him. I remember very clearly the first concert when I got the opportunity to perform with him in Scotland, and I have already performed with him with my guru, Pandit Rakesh Chaurasia, when I used to accompany him, and I used to admire the chemistry what they used to have in between, and I was always used to think that maybe in this life I would get the opportunity to play with him, doing a solo duo. And when it came to me, I was like, I couldn't sleep for 2 nights. So why, I've got a date, and especially first concert to play with him in Scotland. And you'll not believe there's such a big generation gap. The whole concert I played with my eyes shut down.
Wow.
I couldn't see. I mean, it's because that was my dream for that life. And then very friendly, he told me that is something fell in your eyes. Why you clothing, or you don't like to see me while performing? I was trying to see at you and interact with my tabla, and so then this was all learning process. Key, how to interact on stage, what to do, how to do, and he had taught me a lot of things rhythmically, and uh, you know. I mean, influence you on stage what to do next, because we don't do our written music on stage. It's all about improvisation. So it's like a playing chess board on stage. The what move you're doing, what move the other person is doing, and then you get to learn, and everything is spontaneous on stage. So these things have really he has influenced me a lot, and I could see little bit changes in my playing, and he has done for everybody, not me.
So, as a child, I have idolized him, and even to this day, whenever I touch my instrument, I remember him every moment alongside my father.
As the son of tabla maestro Pandit Anubrata Chatterjee and a disciple of Padma Bhushan Prakash Ghoshji, how have these influences molded your approach to tabla?
Being born in the house of such a legend, you in the first place, you're very blessed, and you get to see what it takes to be on stage or to perform at the highest level. So you get to learn a lot of things the way they are, and it's a great thing. I mean, to be born in that house, to be learning from my father, and to be having him around even to this day to guide me in my career in my music is the biggest blessing.
So, do you feel that you were gifted, or do you think you were privileged and you could take your father as your teacher?
Well, I definitely think I was privileged because, just your inroads to the world of classical music becomes much easier to start with. But then when you are into the music, it just like Bollywood or any other world, if you're the son or a nephew of a great maestro, people try to compare you and judge you based on that. So it's initially very easy, but then later on to get established, it's a little more tough than the rest.
And do you have your own notes or something that you could say that you performed and this comes from inside, maybe as an inspiration, or were you just following your dad's footsteps?
Well, I mean, as all musicians, we all follow our guru's footsteps and, father's footsteps. But then, in the world of tabla, as we are attributing it to the great Ustad Zakir Hussain ji, I think he's a global guru to all musicians, all percussionists, and especially all tabla players. So, as a child, I have idolized him, and even to this day, whenever I touch my instrument, I remember him every moment alongside my father.
Wonderful. Shashank ji, starting your public performances at the age of 6 is remarkable. What drew you to the bamboo flute, and how did your early training influence your style?
Well, my father was a flautist, although he was a biochemistry teacher at the university. Um, so I was quite inspired by his practicing the flute at home. But then, based on the advice of the legendary T.R. Mahalingam, who was one of the phenomenal gurus of the flute in Carnatic music, I completely, my training was under vocal maestros. So that kind of inspired me to create a newer flute playing style,
Wow.
different from all the contemporary maestros of those times. So, yes, and then further on, so I learned under Palghat K.B. Narayanaswamy, one of the doyens of Carnatic music. And I also had rhythm training under a few Mridangam gurus, and later Hindustani music training under Pandit Jasrajji.
Wow. So, were you not inclined towards biochemistry and you actually levitated towards the flute?
Well, I levitated towards music very early on. My father says that I was quite attracted to music when I was 9, 10 months old.
Oh my god,
But then
wow.
he taught me music more as a language. And by the time when I got into 5, 6, 7 years of my age, I don't think that I had a choice because my father was quite passionate about music and already chosen my profession, like in many homes um, in India or elsewhere. So when I started, in fact, I gave my first concert in the United States when I was 11 years old.
Wow.
So, 12 years old, sorry. So from those times, I mean, there was nothing to look back. I had a career. I was already well set into this journey. Although, of course, it was a lot of hard work for the further 20 years in my career. So, And it's still a hard work, no matter. I've been around for 40 years now. So.
Wow.